Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and today we're talking about the Children of the Cobby Corn. Talking about Children of the Corn 2022, another Children of the Corn remake. Again. There are now 11 Children of the Corn films. I don't even have enough fingers to cover how many Children of the Corn movies there are. I don't even own a gun, much less that would necessitate a gun rack. I've been going through and watching every single one of these movies for the first time ever. I'd only ever seen the original. So I'm going through and watching them all. I only have 2 left. I'm going to do a video about the whole experience. And yeah, it's going to be a dark one. But there's some stuff in it that's not that bad. There are certain moments in this franchise. You know, for the most part, people just poo-poo all over the Children of the Corn franchise, which is odd because the corn's supposed to go in. You know what? The thing is, it's not that bad of a franchise at times. I look like Mike Myers and So I Married an Axe Murderer. She stole my cat.
They make me horny Saturday morning.
But there's moments in this franchise that really aren't bad. But the moments that are bad are really bad. Where does this one lie? If you look at the reviews and you see online and all that stuff, you would think that this remake lies with the bad of the bad. It's just not true. It's just not true. It doesn't lie with the good, but it doesn't lie with that bad of them. Now, first off, the first thing you're going to think is, why? Why does it exist? Why do I need this in my Scatman Crothers of an agenda for the day? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why it exists. I don't know why someone said, we should remake Children of the Corn for the 5th time. And then someone went, yeah, that works all the time. I have no idea what possessed them to do this, but they made it way back in 2020. They made it during the pandemic, so maybe that had something to do with kind of the weirdness that's in this movie, but we'll get to all that. So it's directed by Kurt Wimmer, who directed Equilibrium, which is a badass, underrated Matrix-type movie starring Christian Bale from back in the day. He wrote some really awesome stuff, including Law Abiding Citizen, which is a badass Gerard Butler revenge film, if you've never seen that one. And he both wrote and directed this, so I thought, hey, that's something to check out for sure. And I actually thought the trailer looked like the budget was all right in there. Now, keep in mind, if I'm being too positive, it's probably because right now I'm in the shit. I am deep in the cornstalks of Satan's taint hairs watching the dark movies of this franchise. So this, in many ways, was a pleasant surprise. I understand if people went to like Regal Cinemas to see this in theater or whatever and paid for their ticket and were hoping for a decent, like solid, just regular everyday movie and got really upset. But if you're aware of the franchise and how these movies can really just drop the ball, I almost went with another corn reference there, but all day long I dream about making bad puns. By the way, why have we never gotten corn on a Children of the Corn soundtrack? We're missing fucking opportunities here, people. So anyways, the story is this. The Jennifer Flip Isaac's character, so the leader of the Children of the Corn in this, is a character named Eden, played by Kate Moyer. And she's really good, and we'll get into that. But she's out in the cornfield, and this kid just comes up to her, and he's like, hey, don't worry. Nothing ever dies in the corn. And then he walks into like this orphan like daycare center, and he kills the first adult he sees. You hear a bunch of death going on inside. Now, this is one of my biggest problems with this entire franchise, is the only, in my opinion, truly frightening moment of the franchise, though there's moments I love, is the opening of the original, when all of those kids just go buck-fuck crazy and murder all the adults in the diner. They lock the door, and it's just it feels like a dark Stephen King moment. And it's the scariest moment in the franchise, and in none of the remakes do they ever even try to touch it. They're like, no, let's go with this little nugget of shit over here, instead of doing that actually super frightening and fucked up moment. But anyways, this is their kind of version of that. Most of it happens off screen, but you get the idea. And the twist here is that the adults, and this is one of the main problems you'll have with this movie, is that in the writing and the characters and their movements and the things they do makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. So this kid, he's like a teenager. He's in there, he's murdering people. The adults try to stop him, and a fool-ass team of like sheriffs and like townspeople and shit are like, I ain't going in there. That kid's got a rusty knife. We got guns. We can't go in there. And they literally, you can hear a guy, and he actually says it. He's like, we literally had to use Halo Thane to try to get that boy out of there. And this daycare is full of orphans, and they're so scared of a teenager with a rusty knife, they don't even try to go in. They just like pump the daycare full of this shit. And guess what? Yeah, the orphans fucking died. Because that's what happens. So then you fast forward a little bit, and we're introduced to the character of Bo, who's played by Elena Camporis, and she's actually the highlight of the movie. She's also the main star of the movie. She's the highlight of it because she's just really good. She carries a lot of weight in this and a lot of stupid character moments and whatnot. She's awesome. She seems like she's got total, like, she should be in Stranger Things. She would fit right in. I think people are going to love her. And her dad, who's played by Kalen Mulvey, who you remember as the broody looking motherfucker from Batman versus Superman. I was like, oh shit, it's that guy. To round out the main cast, the third main character is, again, Eden's character. Now, it's strange because she's not your typical Isaac Children of the Corn leader who's like, I'm fucking weird and I probably do weird butt stuff to rabbits in the name of the Lord. No, she's a whole different kind of fucked up. She's sassy and mean as fuck. And it's very strange. It's very different from what you're used to with Children of the Corn. But I will say, I don't know if it works for that type of character, but she was really good though. Like, as a kid actress, just watching her, I was like, damn, she is natural as hell. But the idea is the foundation was pretty good. It wasn't that bad. The whole idea is that this town has had, you know, big corn. Big corn has come in town and they told them how to do their crops to maximize their profits and all this, and basically screwed them over, and the soil's gone bad and everything's fucked and the town's poor as shit. And Bo's dad and the adults decide that they can take these subsidies from the government to basically agree to never grow corn again, and they'll give them a bunch of money and they'll just get, you know, short time rich for a little bit. Basically, they're going to take a second deal with the devil to get them out of the hole that they're in, leaving the kids with kind of no future because their future was in corn. So Eden, who's already a little fucked up and crazy, and they kind of throw in a couple ties to why these kids are so weird anyway, as they've done, and it kind of alludes to what happened, I believe, Children of the Corn 2, when there was some rotten corn about, and it was floating through the skies and making people fucking crazy. So that was kind of neat, and there's little stuff like that that's kind of, oh, that was a neat little writing nugget right there. I like that. So, corn nuggets. Oh, it's just they don't connect their storylines whatsoever. Nothing they do makes sense. None of Bo's plans make sense. You don't understand what her plan is. She's like, we're going to get them all into the community hall, and I'm going to call a reporter, and then we're going to tell them our parents are dicks. And then she thinks the whole town's going to like fall into this. She like arrests her dad and is going to put him on trial. And then like, it's really dumb. Like, the idea's there, but the execution of it all is so confusing. Like, why? There's 1,000 moments in this movie where you're like, why wouldn't that character just do this? Where it just doesn't make sense. Nothing anyone does make any sense, and it drives you crazy. So there's that, and the dialogue can be really, really bad, sometimes cringeworthy at times. And again, the main trio of actors, really good. And then some other actors will come in and you'll be like, woof, that was astoundingly bad. And there's one kid, like, I don't know why we can't curse. He's like, what the frick's going on with this butt stuff? Like, just say the curse word, man. It's a Children of the Corn movie, not Grandma's house. And they don't explain or show you things at certain times. There's like, for instance, there's one big moment, okay, where they are walking through the town and everything has just gone crazy, and a character walks up to another character and they're like, oh my god, did you see that? And they're like, I know, the bodies. And you're like, I saw one fucking body 40 yards away when you guys were walking and there was a car on fire. It's worse than that after UK wins a championship around here. You get the idea. It's supposed to be this crazy huge scene. They don't show you any of it. And you're like, what the fuck? How did we get in the corn? One character will escape and you'll go, but when they go over there, that's where they go to die. Why did you just let them go there? Just so much about it makes zero sense whatsoever. And it's very, very, very frustrating because there are some decent ideas scattered about. But I will say it's more entertaining than the bad sequels are. It's far more entertaining than the bad sequels are. It's got better acting than the really bad sequels have. And, you know, the fix is where it goes to die. At the end, they reveal something, and it's necessary for them to use special effects to really show what they're trying to show us and go for. And it would have been a cool moment. And there are little moments where it's like, damn, that looks really good. Like, the effects on that don't look that bad. Very little moments. But for the most part, when it does a movement or you see it for longer than half a second at all, and they're not afraid to show it to you, they're like, hey, look at this. It looks like Gumby had sex with teenage Groot and the Lawnmower Man. It's just, not just this, but certain things that characters do, like I was saying earlier, you can just feel the movie going, fuck it. It's honestly kind of fun at that point, though. Like, I wasn't even mad at it. There is the scene in Silent Hill where Pyramid Head pulls up and just rips someone's skin off them? And the most heinous, disgusting, coolest thing I've maybe ever seen in a movie. And there's an attempt at that. And it looks like It looks like a 90s high C commercial. It's not good. And there's another shot where it's like, oh, it didn't look that bad. That was pretty cool. Fucking Demogorgon corn. Oh, me. But I actually appreciate that and found it entertaining. It was not good, but I found it entertaining. And then, like, they really just bring it to a head with the final confrontation. Like, we just forget, like, half of what's going on. And a bunch of kids just show up in the corn, like, oh, yeah. Those kids were out in the corn doing bad corn kid shit. And the movie's like, I don't know what's going on. So the writing is broken. The story is broken. It doesn't connect. If you think about it for longer than it takes to expel gas, you're going to be like, what the fuck? But all things considered, it didn't look that bad for most of the film. Had some decent acting, and it had some neat new nuggets to the children. I don't know why there's 11 of these movies or why we need any more ideas. But that being said, if we're gonna do it, they had some neat little thoughts and neat little things to say for the franchise. It was kind of refreshing to watch in comparison to some of the other movies. It'll be interesting to see where it ranks as a movie, as a total movie. I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. Almost a 6 though. Like I can't go all the way with it because there's just so many little broken things. It's the Sega Dreamcast of the Children of the Corn movies, you know? It's got some really cool shit in it, but it never fucking works. And that's the best way I can describe this movie. Yeah. I think that nails it. I think that describes it perfectly. But honestly, if you're a fan of the franchise, I would watch it. I really would. If you're a fan of the franchise, it's not nearly as bad as some of those things you've sat through before. So that's my review for Children of the Corn, guys. All the Scream content coming up. Scream's this week, baby! Get it up! I'm so excited. Make sure you guys click subscribe and the bell so you know when we put out a video. And comment down below. How many of the Children of the Corn franchise movies have you watched? And how do you feel about them? I love your fucking face, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking. Let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.